Today is September 1st of 2022, and I want to talk about two topics that are very, very, very important. They kind of tie into each other. The first topic is having a destination. Having a destination, though no one believes in it because of reincarnation, but perhaps one day after perpetual lifetimes and perpetual generations, after having so many lifetimes for God knows what reason, perhaps after all of that, there will come an end, a final destination of the soul to rest or to be punished for everything it has done. And that destination is currently known as hell or heaven. Now, I don't believe in hell or heaven. I believe in pain or comfort. So in essence, hell will be pain, heaven will be comfort. Let's erase the ideology that there's heaven and hell. And let's be really honest that hell is just pain. Heaven is just comfort. So from henceforth, we don't have to say, oh, that person's going to hell or that person's going to heaven. Just say that person's going to be electrocuted or that person's going to be spared from that situation. I mean, really, all hell is electrocution, which means every time you're electrocuted or every time you feel pain, you're in hell. Every time you feel comfortable, you're in heaven. And the sifter of our existence is trying to figure out who wants others to go through pain that they don't deserve and who has comfort that's excessive while other people are suffering. Who's okay with being comfortable while other people are suffering? That will start to separate who's going to feel pain forever and who's going to be comfortable. Because if you thought a person should feel comfort while other people are suffering, that doesn't make sense. If you thought people should feel pain while other people are comfortable, you deserve to suffer to an extent. I don't know how to say it. It's like you cannot tell people to pay a price to decompose and feel pain. For instance, I'm wearing a wig, right? I shouldn't have paid money for it. You can't tell a person to pay money for a body part that you didn't secure and guarantee it was going to always be there for them after employment, education, and false parenting. In Earth's geology, you can't say, oh, it's your fault you lost your hair. It's no one's fault that they lose their hair. It's no one's fault that their eyes turn yellow. There are some things you can never say it's the person's fault, because even if it was, it's still an element of the periodic table. You still have to do what is supposed to be done. You know what I mean? Anyways, to make a long story short, people are going to hell or heaven symbolically. They're going to feel pain for all of eternity because men knew how to stick a penis inside of a woman's vagina. Hell is a strong fate. And it never ends. Once that electrocution starts, it's going to go on for all of eternity. The reason why is because a Lagos pet handler, an African-American slave, people that actually fought World War II, could stick a penis inside of a woman, and out comes you or me. Webster Dictionary, that's going to break or keep the laws of equity. Out comes a person that's going to be filled with destructive energy. They're going to go left and right of it, or they're going to pass right down the middle of it. Whew. And if you make the wrong decision, you're going to be electrocuted for all of eternity. Because even though it was wrong for you to be in such a situation, you still had cognition to pass right down the middle of existence. You can't be rich or poor. You can't be ugly or pretty. Of course, you could use those words for communication and seeking comfort because of how dangerous this geology is if you have a nervous system, but you can't really mean it. You can't really believe that a person is ugly on planet Earth or pretty. You can't really believe that there should be rich and poor. You can't support the opportunity for things to be cut right down the middle. You can't make one person's life a seesaw ride for another person to feel high. But I thought about that and I was like, that's just too much. Can you imagine burning in hell for all of eternity because Donald Trump and Pastor Hagee could stick a penis in a vagina? And when you multiply that happening all across the globe, all of a sudden you're born. But you're nothing like the human race. You're just all of a sudden here in this race, You make a wrong choice, slip on a banana peel, and before you know it, you're going to hell. Because you just can't do well. Because common Lagos pet handlers knew how to stick a penis inside of a woman who didn't have fresh water to bathe, who didn't see a house to her left or her right, who had callous feet, red eyes, and yellow teeth. And because he knew how to stick a penis inside of that Vagine, The multiplication of that reality caused you to come out the womb, and before you know it, hell might come too soon. I think that's horrible. Now, of course, the universe would never let a person like me burn in hell because I know so much about this reality, and that's not really good. But just imagine if it was possible. I mean, at the end of the day, if a person is going to symbolically go to hell or heaven, it's only because a man could open the door of darkness. He could stick a penis in the vagina and make a multiplication of the cadaver mass that holds the souls of Webster Dictionary, expanding the mass of a lawbreaker or a lawkeeper, which is just comprehensive logic that goes left or right of equity, or it passes right down the middle as neutrality. But solemnity, singularity, and sorrow, those are hard things, and they're borrowed. Who would actually pick up sorrow and carry it when they could go out and play pool or laugh or play golf or go swimming or go Botox or do yoga instead and claim that they were doing it for their health so as not to be decrepit in bed, and then burn in hell for all of eternity because they didn't realize cosmic balance was very severe to someone who was suffering, and each cell that supported the opportunity to be negligent made the popularity of someone suffering accepted. Anyways, I also want to talk about something that is a collective participation of my life. I have a lot of childhood memories that are questionable. They involve monetary theft. They involve sexual abuse, masturbation, titty fucking, titty sucking, as in, chest masturbation, I guess you could put it. And that's pretty much all I have on my record. People might say, oh, Nikki O's dead or Nikki masturbated in her life. But I started masturbating when I was probably 6 or 7 years of age. And I think it has a lot to do with my stepfather and my stepsister. Because when they entered my mom's life, or rather when they entered my life, my sister's life, I was just born. And then my stepsister was born when I was 3. And ever since my stepfather and my stepsister came into my life, my whole life has been going down a conductive, symbolic journey. And the only reason why I believe it has something to do with them is because personally on my end, through investigation, as we all have to do to our life, I find that my life tells me a lot about this existence, and I think that some of my memories have a lot to do with universal conduction, though this is all very mysterious. But I say this because I really want to talk about my childhood memories. I only have monetary debt, theft, and what you might call sexual promiscuity that is only independent, which means I'm not a stripper, I'm not a hoe, I haven't fucked with a lot of men, I'm still a virgin actually. I've never had sexual intercourse, I've never French kissed, I've not ever spent time with more than really one man in a lifetime, and it's only been like a kin guy that was a brother, and he's now currently holding me hostage because I don't have anyone in my life to turn to, and it seems like a mockery, but he is very violent, very disrespectful, and it's almost like, very murderous what he's done, but I never really had a tight family, as in people I could trust. And so because I'm just interested in comfort, I don't run around looking for anything more than a house and a car. And if I have those things, I'm kind of like, oh, let me just stay put right here until I die and hope I die soon, And I know it sounds crazy, but that's kind of what I do. And so because I'm that kind of person, I think that's what put me in a jiffy and a bind. Plus my stepsister is my arch enemy, and she and my roommate are like this. And when you add my stepfather to it, I think they conspired to hold me hostage in order to make me homeless, because my stepsister doesn't want me to have a family. My stepfather doesn't want me to remember what he did to me. And at the end of the day, I'm just kind of suffering all the time. And everybody's trying to help everybody feel all right about it, But anyways, to make a long story short, I have childhood memories that are kind of bad, But I didn't do anything wrong. It's just that people would like to use it as what you might call, I'm going to never let you fix these memories, okay? Because I'm going to use these memories to justify aging you in the present moment. I'm going to also use these memories to justify electrocuting you, which means even though we was doing wrong to you before you did these things, I'm going to use these memories to justify continuing to do the wrong that we was always doing. And I'm going to tell myself, bitch, you stole, bitch, you masturbated, bitch, you stole, bitch, you masturbated, bitch, you used, bitch, you did this, you did this, you did this. And I'm going to use all your memories to tell myself, I have a right to pull your hair out your head. I have a right to scar your skin. I have a right to sleep deprive you. I have a right to fire you from work. I have a right to make you homeless. I have a right to do, They got people in prison that have hard bodies and full heads of hair, but bitch, I'm going to take everything from you because I don't like you, bitch. And so everybody's doing a whole lot of stuff to me. And they're using my child memories to justify. They're like, we're never going to let you fix this shit. Like, I'm like, okay, fine, because we want you to suffer for all of eternity for it. So now I want to talk about three things. We have sun, we have skin, and we have penis. Pay attention. Sun turns to sin when the K, which sounds like a C, turns to a C. Skin turns to C sin, and penis, when the P becomes a B, penis turns into B sin. Three sins. There are three things that the human race cannot take off of them while they're here. You can't take the penis off the man's body. You can't take the sun out of the sky. And you can't take your skin off your bones. Those are three things. All of those things are sin. You cannot tell a person to be in an environment where the vitality of their ability to provide is outside of them. Light is outside of us. All light is outside of us. That's a sin. It's a sin to have a body part so vital outside of you. It should come through you. Which means it should come out of you, not to you. Secondly, skin changes. If it's an identity, it cannot change. It cannot be something that you take care of. Your identification takes care of you. You don't take care of it. And then furthermore, it's vulnerable to every and anything. People die looking like monsters. Skin is see sin. See what sin looks like. Sun is sin. An element, it's horrible. But skin is see sin. See something that can go wrong. And when it goes wrong, it doesn't even make sense that it had even existed to begin with. And then penis is B sin. Like B sin. It's a sin to open the door of someone else's existence and tell them to be in a place where you didn't ask their permission. It's a sin to affect other people just because you could do something and it's going to affect a lot of people. That's being sin. Every man's penis is B sin. It's a sin to piss with your own penis after you put people in an environment where they may not be able to eat. Which means it's a sin to relieve yourself of the same cardiovascular system that electrocutes other people, and they require money to do what you do so easily. Okay? I say this because a lot of people thought that my childhood memories were going to nail me to hell and justification for harming me. I'm so confused. Yeah, not confused. I get so excited when I realize that, the human race is going to burn in hell. I just don't know what to do with myself. But anyways, to make a long story short, all of my ex-U peers, my siblings, all of my community New Orleanians, all of my college friends, my godmother, all the people who knew me, you thought you could hold me hostage to financial problems. You thought you could hold me hostage to masturbation, infidelity. You thought you could hold me hostage to petty theft or theft itself. You thought you could hold me hostage and never get those things off me. You thought, bitch, we're going to swallow you alive with your sins. I'm like, me? Did you dispute the sun in the sky, your eye outside your eye? Did you dispute the opportunity to even charge me, which is skin that tarnishes and feelings that can be electrocuted? Did you dispute these things? See sin. See somebody being sinned to, their skin. Their skin is a sin. You charge me to be sinned to. Then you charge me to be told to sin. And then you charge me for people that be sin. Human race. Whatever a lawbreaker tries to do, the opposite happens. But if you keep the law, it happens directly. Because keeping the law is to give me a house. And when you do, it's going to happen. If you gave me a car, it's going to happen. Breaking the law is to try to tell me I'm going to go to hell for all of eternity because while I was suffering doing conductive footsteps, you decided to trick me. You know what? You're being tricked. You have three things on your existence that you're going to burn for. The sun, you cannot pull it out the sky. Skin, motherfucker, applies. And penis. Y'all like men. I don't. Nor do I like women. How many of you thought that I was going to die miserable because you were not going to let me clean up an act that couldn't be cleaned up? Which is, I think I stole money. I think I owed debt. And I masturbated in the depths. Ooh, I think I broke the law. But you got sun outside my eye. And you didn't ask my permission if I wanted to live with my life in the hands of God. You didn't ask my permission if I wanted to live with my life in the hands of sinners. You didn't ask my life if I wanted to be ignored in the bigger picture. You didn't ask my permission if I wanted to age and pay a price for just that. You didn't ask my permission if I wanted other people to affect the life that I'm living. You just threw me in a situation and said, pay a price, bitch. I'm going to put you under a bridge and make you homeless. And you think you're a good person? You thought I was going to be weeping and wailing in the darkness and gnashing because you were going to hold me hostage to childhood memories. But how do you feel that you cannot escape three things that I'm going to hold you hostage to for all of eternity? Sun is sin. Skin, see sin. Penis, be sin. Three sins that the human race is doing every second of every minute. Now, how do you feel, lawbreakers, about things happening opposite? You thought you were going to make me wallow in misery. You thought you were going to have me looking left and right and then just become negligent and ignore the plight. You thought you were going to take my brain down. Thorough poverty, manufacturing slaves for old massa, just so grateful to move around. You thought I was going to be an animal with just eyes to see but not ever do anything that's intelligently. Now you're that person. You got sins on you you can never take off of you. For even in the darkness, when the earth is long passed away, as long as I'm existing, you sinned for all of eternity.